Now, while many CEOs have joined Trump's Business Advisory Council, there is one notable tech standout, Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Many think his vision to make the world more sustainable will greatly influence Trump's presidency. I caught up with Musk biographer and Bloomberg Businessweek columnist Ashlee Vance and asked how he thinks people are digesting the Tesla CEO's rise in the news because of his affiliation with President Trump.
Well, it's a strange turn of events, that's for sure. I think if you look at Elon's personality and where he would usually fall on the political spectrum, Trump would not be the first person you would assume that he would be united with. But Peter Thiel has been this big backer of Trump for a long time, and he's a friend of Elon back from the PayPal days when they started the company together. Got a bit of an in into Trump's world, and then now I think he sees himself as kind of a voice of reason, somebody who can offer a bit of different perspective on things like global warming, manufacturing, and he's very opportunistic, and he seems to be taking this moment to seize it.
How do you see the balancing act that he plays quite publicly on Twitter, as Donald Trump himself does, but at times trying to castigate the president, but at other times trying to back him up, potentially with some of his choices for cabinet? Yeah,
it's funny. He is getting intense pushback from his customers. A lot of the Tesla customers in particular, and Solar City, they tend to be maybe liberal and certainly green thinkers, and Trump has shown no interest in that line of thought. And so it's tricky for Elon to play the politics on Twitter and go back and forth. I think ultimately Elon is this very logical guy. I mean, that is the core of who he is. And I don't think it's BS. I think when he says, look, I want to have a line directly to the president and try to convince him on some things like global warming or carbon tax, I think he means that sincerely. It looks like there will be a cost to pay for that.
In some ways, what he has built, particularly with Tesla, is exactly what Donald Trump has been talking of: made in America, US jobs. And is it just a natural fit that at the same time Tesla is expanding, and indeed those US employees?
Well, yeah, you could not find a better person than Elon for the things Trump has talked about. This is a guy he builds his cars in Silicon Valley, he builds his rockets in Los Angeles, he's got factories in New York, Nevada, Texas. He's created 35,000 jobs over the last 10 years and modernized industries that had grown stagnant. And so here's a guy who, this is exactly the model you'd want to point to. Not only can we build things in America, we could do it in very expensive cities if you put your mind to it. And so, from that standpoint, I think it's mutually beneficial. Tesla and SpaceX and Solar City also need a lot of political help through the histories of these companies. They have been underdogs in Congress. The companies that they're competing against tend to be big donors to congressional leaders, and now Elon has this direct ear of the president, and so it's a big deal for him, and it gives him an edge that he has not had historically.
Do you think he's putting money behind his relationship as well? Do you think he's lobbying? Do you think that he's looking for sort of tax help as well?
Well, I think yes, I'm sure he is always looking for tax help. Historically, Elon has funded just about everybody, even though I think politically he would be libertarian to sort of a Democrat. Because of the nature of his companies, particularly SpaceX, which does a lot of government business, he has given to Republicans and Democrats, and his companies have done both. And so I think he's typical Elon. He's very logical and opportunistic about these things. I think with stuff like global warming in particular, I mean, Elon he's more or less dedicated his entire life to facing this problem. And so if he really thinks he can convince not only Trump, but some policies to curb global warming, to put penalties in place for carbon, he's going to take advantage of that.